back, guys, to another episode of Nomads and Sam. So as you know, we've been off-road touring for the past 3 to 4 years. We've been on dirt roads, red dirt roads. We've been on beach driving, river crossings, and a lot of mud. And as we know, what comes with that?
Yeah, so obviously you get a lot of dirt, salt, and a lot of crap up inside the underbody of your car. And one of the things that comes with that is rust. So today we're going to show you guys how we're going to clean the underbody of our car, respray it, and what 2 types of chemicals that we're going to use that are alternatives on the market rather than the expensive Undercoating. But the first thing I want to get into, we really wanted to quickly show you, was one of the new big game-changing appliances that we've mounted into the rear of our car.
So come and check out this new little addition that we've got for the car. Pretty stoked about this one, but we've got a freezer. So that means that Samuel can have his little ice cubes for his coffees, but it also means if we get a large amount of fish from a good old fishing trip, then we can freeze them as well, but also some ice creams and ice blocks on those hot sunny days.
Yeah, absolutely. The freezer's a game changer, and I've basically just mounted that via an Anderson plug into our 120 amp iTech Water lithium battery we've got sitting in the back there. But for now, let's crack into doing this underbody protection and show you guys the 2 different types of aerosol chemicals that we're going to use, and you can decide which one is better and whether it's going to be better than the Undercoating itself. Now, before we start off, we're just going to quickly throw down the spraying mat in the shed and have a look at the 2 products that we're going to compare to one another. Originally, we were heavily looking into the known brand Undercoating, but that was up to $100 on the shelves, and it was ridiculously expensive compared to the other brands that were on the market. So the 2 that we're going to use, starting off with the first one, which I have used before and it got fairly good results for how much it cost, is one from Super Cheap. It is the SCA Underbody Rust Coating, and it's only around $10 a bottle, and it's made up of a black bitumen tar-like coating and also has sound dampening features and comes off as a black matte colour. The next one is called Rust-Oleum, or however you say it, and it is a black rubberized spray, which also has the similar claims to the other one, but it comes off in a gloss black, which is supposed to finish light. However, is a little bit more expensive at around $15. Now, first things first, we obviously had to take all of the bolts off from the underbody protection that had not been taken off in over 2 years. And let me tell you, the rust was absolutely phenomenal. However, one of the first things here that you can notice is there's actually a massive bend in the front end of the underbody protection itself, where the winch has gone over, and I've obviously hit something to curve the metal. So I've had to release the winch, try and get some pliers, unbend it, hit it with a hammer and get it undone so I could get to that bolt. Finally releasing that bolt, we went to the 2 rear ones, undid those, Maddie had a crack at it. The tool of choice here that we're using to get these undone is one of the Makita impact drivers, and I tell you what, it's been an absolute game changer in trying to get all of these rusted bolts off. For those that know, once you've done a significant amount of off-roading, full driving, particularly beach off-roading areas, everything becomes rust no matter how many times you give it a proper clean. Now, just before I show you guys how we're going to prep and spray these underbody protection parts, it is pretty cool to see, even though the amount of underbody washing that I have done over the years, how rusted both sides of the underbody protection it is. You can see here, even the sides that I've hit both underneath and the parts that I haven't hit because I simply couldn't get to it, how rusted both sides actually are and how dirty they really is. So there is 2 types of ways I'm going to prep and spray both of these products just to see which one works better out of full curiosity. The first one, I'll spray some degreaser first, then scrub it in with a brush. Now, ideally a wire brush would be the best way to do this. However, I was conscious of not wanting to strip the limited factory paint off, so I just put a bit more effort into getting the sand and dirt off, etc. After that, I washed it off with water, flipped it to the other side, and washed it with water first, then sprayed the degreaser, which displaces water anyways, and then scrubbed it, and that seemed to work a lot better than the other way, for whatever reason that is. It is also interesting to see all the dents shine out as well, like no tomorrow, as I'm going through these and cleaning them up. I then pulled it over, gave it a quick hand dry, and put it down on the spray mat. So the first spray we'll use is the Rust-Oleum, which is the rubber-based spray. I'm going to spray from front to back about 15 centimeters away, as this seems to be the sweet spot to reduce all those little spots that come off out of the aerosol. And straight away you can see the gloss finish, and as it's drying, the harshness of the gloss actually reduces to what I think is a normal level. I'll then let that front part dry to see what it looks like and go help Maddie to take off the rest of the underbody protection. Now I'm going to use the second method of cleaning it, of washing it with water, throwing on the degreaser and scrubbing it, which seems to be the best working treat. The middle underbody protection was the most bent of the lot because of the few rocks that I've hit through water crossings, and it really goes to show that these things are worth the upgrade to a thicker steel. This spray that I'm using is the SCA Rust Coating, that is the tar matte finish, and I'm going to have to use a lot more of the product to cover the same area, approximately about 3 times the amount to achieve the same thickness, which is quite surprising when I was doing this. Once this was done, I put it in on the spraying mat, and this is where you're going to see the cosmetic finish difference between the two straight away in real time. Now, I threw up a poll on Instagram and most votes actually went to the matte finish, but personally, I don't know about you guys, but I prefer the gloss finish, and when it dried a lot harder and seemed to be a lot more durable when I gave it a bit of a scratch test. Now, for those still watching, I'm going to flick it to the other side to showcase how bad the surface rust actually is. Keep in mind that this side is the side that I don't get to wash as well because it's the parts that are showing up against the engine area. It is absolutely crazy seeing the difference here. Giving these two a coat straight away, I ended up having to add some more of the rubber-based product to finish off the tar-based product because of how much more I actually had to use. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the tar-based anti-rust black spray definitely does not look as good. It gives it a really big matte colour. But the glossier one, the other product, the Rust-Oleum, or however you pronounce it, seems to give it a really nice gloss spray paint finish. So it'll be interesting to see over the next 6 months or so to see which product will perform better when we go off-road in terms of anti-rust, keeping the sand and any dirt off it as well. So I'll keep you guys in touch throughout each episode, see if I notice any differences or anything like that. But for now, we'll throw these bad boys back on and we'll get going onto our next trip.